Welcome to Switch Comics. My name is Marco.
I'm Chris.
And today we have a pretty hefty stack. It was a big week for comics. One of the biggest weeks we've had in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Specifically is talking about for all the comics that came out. So let's go ahead and hop into it because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. God. Starting with Fantastic Four number 2, we picked up the Momoko variant of The Thing here, which strangely enough is not about The Thing. It's about Sue Storm and Reed Richards. More so from the perspective of Sue Storm, but yeah, it was pretty good. So again, this is I'm not a big Fantastic Four guy, but we started picking this up because it's written by Ryan North, and
we found out wrote Squirrel Girl.
He's a very
I really love.
Interesting writer. I feel like he has a very different style. And this was a strange but touching comic. And I don't want to spoil anything. Had some slight some parts of it that resembled or reminded me at least anyway of the Iron Man comic he wrote.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I want to get into. It's really good. I don't want to spoil it because it was a pretty interesting set of events that happened, and all so far just kind of setting up. There was a big tease last issue. Something happened with the Fantastic Four
in New
In New York,
York,
big old explosion, and we don't know anything about it. Literally, it's just last page. Like we're going through the story, with the Thing and whatever, and then at the very end, he's like, yeah, it's pretty crazy what happened in New York. It's just a big explosion, and that's like all we know.
Big crater is all we know.
Yeah, big crater. And so, obviously, the team's kind of separated. And so, yeah, we get some, not really information. It's just like a little introduction, which is an interesting way to do it. It's just kind of introducing the characters, getting a feel for everything, and then I assume, stuff is going to be figured out later. But I quite like it. Like I said, it's a different approach. It's not straight to the point, but in a good way. It's like, oh, well, this is entertaining. I have a lot of questions. Big cratered questions, but I like it. Moving on to Ghost Rider number 9, the Momoko variant. A lot of Momoko variants this week.
Yeah.
There were a ton. We didn't pick up all of them, but we have quite a few of them. This is probably my favorite cover of the week.
Yeah.
It is sick. I feel like every time a Momoko does Ghost Rider, it just gets better, which is pretty crazy. But anyway, series or issue rather, was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I like this kind of conflict between Johnny and Ghost Rider. You looking for something?
I was looking for the first Ghost Rider.
Did you forget where you were? And what's her name? Is it God, I forget it every time, and I like her. She's a cool character, but I can never.
It says it.
Talia.
Dahlia.
I think she's neat. She has a lot of mystery about her because she keeps doing things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you? Like, she introduces, I think, some new powers to her anyway in this series. And yeah, we have very few answers about her, but I think she's a very neat character, and I can't wait to learn more. There was a really cool Ghost Rider scene because I don't know, I do like Ghost Rider a lot because he is in a lot of ways kind of like he's very bad guy like, because I don't know, he's very monstrous, I guess, but at the same time, it's like people that need vengeance, and he's like all about it, and he wants to go kill whoever's responsible. And so it's like a peace demon. I don't know. But it's been a pretty good issue. Very strange issue as well. I feel like you could have taken a Ghost Rider series in many different directions, and this is definitely not generic. Like, this is not... I felt like this is a very cool concept of, like, let's do a Ghost Rider series unlike any other Ghost Rider series. And we get a little bit more teases of exhaust. And it's looking like we might be getting at least the start of the big fight in the next issue. So, moving on to Thanos Death Notes. There was also a really cool, I think it was the C cover. It was an homage to Gone with the Wind, which I was tempted to get, but we just got so many books this week. But anyway, I mean, the A cover is really rad as well. So this is one of those books. Hey there, Waffle, how you doing? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So this is one of those style of books where the beginning and ending is written by someone, and the middle is them reading stuff that are other stories that are in the middle of the book. Overall, pretty good. The main story, and this, oh, by the way, does tie in.
Is there going to be more Death Notes? Or is it a one-shot?
It's just a one-shot.
Yeah, it felt very one-shot.
Yeah. It sets up this week's issue of Thor, which we'll get into here in a second, with something pretty cool. I think it's really, really neat. So this is also tying into that vision of Thanos that Thor had in issue 5 or 6 or whatever it was.
What are we at now? 29?
Yeah. So it's finally coming around, and I was a little worried because Donny Cates isn't working on it anymore. But I don't know his name. I don't know how to say it. Gronbeck, maybe? He's writing it. He's writing Thor.
Yeah.
And he's also been writing Punisher War Journal, the recent ones. And we've been enjoying those. And I gotta say, with this issue of this issue of Thor, and everything going on and what he introduced, well, I don't even know if I would count it as introducing. It's talked about in this issue.
Yeah.
So, well, talked about in both these issues. We haven't seen the cool thing yet, but a cool thing has been promised.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty excited for it. It is something kind of game-changing to all of comic history. So it's I don't know. I'm pretty pumped for it. The middle stories are pretty good. I don't think they're necessary, but I did enjoy them. Did you read all of them? Yeah. Okay. Hey, calm down. Calm down. Mwah. Okay, calm down.
Pretty sure I read this thing front to back.
Yeah, because like you don't need to, but they're fun. Because basic idea, because like they did the same thing with Odin's funeral. Even though I didn't like that one as much, especially because like
I don't know what you're talking about, telling different like stories like that. It was.
You're insane. Because it totally stops here. Here's a new artist, writer, all that.
Oh. Okay, I'm drawn. I didn't see the thing at the top of the corner. Granted,
this character is not in the rest of the story, only in these like 6 or 7 pages.
This flowed better, and the stories were more connected than the Odin one.
Oh, for sure. That's what I was getting into. So like I said, it's kind of like the Odin one, but the Odin one I didn't care for very much because basically, so we're at Odin's funeral. You start with the beginning of the story and the ending. You know, the ending of the story is by the same person, which that was Donny Cates. Pretty sure should have been. But anyway, and then Thor's like, I'm gonna read from what is it called? The Book of Gods or whatever. I don't know whatever. I can't remember. And so it was supposed to be like Tales of Odin, but it was like a story of Loki and random stuff of Thor, and it was just like, whatever, write some random Thor-related stuff and we'll throw it in the middle of this book. I feel, and a missed opportunity, I feel like, because I would have liked to seen some like early days of Odin stories, like before Thor, could have been really cool. And it didn't have an overall like narrative. This one kind of did, with just kind of Thanos being a badass. So even if you're not reading Thor, if you just want to see some cool Thanos stories, pretty cool as well. So then moving on to Thor.
It also explains why Thanos is back.
Yeah. Thor 29, we opted for the Love and Thunder variant, which is extremely late to come out.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty cool variant. And yeah, I thought it was neat, so I decided to grab it. Again, So this is kind of following up on the really cool thing that's mentioned, and I don't want to spoil it because it's really cool. It's super, super neat. Big reveal at the end. I feel like he's Gronbeck or whatever his name is doing a pretty good job at telling a Donny Cates story.
Yeah.
This felt pretty close to what I would want out of a Donny Cates story. It had a lot of the same beats. It had a lot of similar writing aspects to it. Waffles, you're a goober. What are you doing over here?
Stabbing me in the arm. I had to roll my sleeve down.
Also, there's a lot of these Stan Lee tribute things in the middle of a lot of these Marvel comics. Just a little side note. But yeah, there's which I guess this also ties in. Doesn't this tie into Avengers 1 billion BC maybe or something?
How so?
I was a little confused. We can talk about it later. I was a little confused. Anyway,
just point to the page. And I'll say yes or no. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I'm confused then. Okay, but that's fine.
I don't know anything about that.
Anyway, pretty.
I thought you were just pointing at a random thing. Oreo, what are you
Oreo's
doing?
ears were like, you know when something like so lightly touches you, it tickles you in a weird way.
Hey, baby.
Anyway, the good issue. We need to get going through these books. We got a lot of books to talk about.
Right.
Secret Invasion #2 we picked up. I don't know, the C variant or something.
Good.
Again, Ryan North, very interesting writing style. Really cool back too. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever thing. It's super strange. It's definitely a. Again, I feel like a smart choice on like. Well, we gotta, because I'm sure there's Marvel executives being like, we need a Secret Invasion story. There's a Secret Invasion show coming out, and ultimately you could give that to a bunch of different writers, and some of them are gonna just make this is basically Secret Invasion again.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is pretty creative. There's still a lot of things we don't know, and it's also taking into the aspect of these characters that live in this universe are like we've gone through a Secret Invasion. We know how to handle this, but the enemy's a little smarter this time as well.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
It's nice to see like both parties trying to outplay the other.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little spy chess game, and it's interesting. Like I said, there's a lot of things, a lot of mysteries. So we have Avengers 63. Chris read this. I didn't read this.
Ties directly into last issue of Avengers Forever and next issue of Avengers Forever. Because this is, I suppose, the end of the big Avengers arc that's been building up for...
Leading to the end, or this is the last issue?
No. This
arc.
Yeah. Should be. How'd you flop both your ears like that?
For flipping around. Anyway, so yeah, it's all coming together, all tying up.
Yeah.
Come down. Why are you so crazy right now? So moving on, we have.
Yes? Sorry, I was gonna say one last thing. It's fun to see, probably the strongest Thor we've ever seen fight along a young Odin.
Yeah.
Who's kind of like Thor in regards of he's kind of arrogant. A little bit of an asshole.
Time travel stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, Odin's dead. What happened?
No, he's back in time.
Okay. That makes more sense. So we have Punisher #8. I had to double check. This is the A cover. Pretty cool cover. I like that one. It's pretty fun. Something really cool happens in this.
We can't say.
I can't say it. But again, just a solid issue, a gory issue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this: some heads get punched in, more than one. All right. Well, one gets punched in. A couple get exploded. All right.
One just goes.
Yeah. One gets cut off. If anybody's like Disney's, I don't want Punisher Disney or anything like that. This is brutal. All right. Like it's the arc is called the King of Killers, all right, and they are not straying away from the killing. Calm down, boy, calm down. It's super fun.
Probably one of the most brutal Ares we've
This
ever
is
seen.
Jason Aaron as well, so he's
Oh.
writing the Avengers. Man, awesome. Yeah, it's super good. And it's looking like a big fight with Punisher and Ares, but Punisher is becoming more and more of the beast god, whatever thing. He's getting his powers, so it's like a souped up Punisher that has a katana that he's kind of okay with,
and a gun,
and
very okay
and guns.
with.
You know how he is with guns. Anyway, super good. Predator number 5. This is the B cover, wasn't it? Yeah.
Its first arc is about to complete, and I'm super excited for next issue.
Pretty cool cover. Kind of a slower issue, but I did like it. I thought it was pretty good, and left with a big something crazy is going to happen next issue for sure.
Because next issue is the end of the arc.
So yeah, God, what's her name? I forget.
Oh, me too. I hate it when you do this when you say what's her name and it just erased from my mind.
Oh god, this is just telling me history of Predator stuff.
It's probably said.
It is said when these two characters are talking. Theta. Okay, so yeah, the Theta, the main character of this one, runs into a group of scientists that her parents used to kind of work with. Oh, whatever.
They're also like the company that owns her ship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so they're kind of hijacking her ship and whatever. And she's kind of trying to explain, like, hey, I need to get out of here. Some predators.
You're all gonna die.
Some predators are after me. Do you think there's gonna be any survivors?
One.
Well, I mean, other than Theta, these new people. Do you think any of them are gonna survive?
No.
I'm gonna bet maybe that person, the one person that was kind of being nice to her, might survive. Maybe. Moving on to Variants number 5, the last issue. How are you gonna make a book called Variants and not have any variant covers?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Kind of whack.
And speaking of whack, this book is whack.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
I like it, but I felt like I was constantly on a roller coaster that was derailing. But not like derailing in a bad way, just like I felt like I hopped off the rails and landed on a different roller coaster set. Like I'm like, where am I now? What is going on? But that was sick. It's super strange series. I really like it. But yeah, just a strange read. A bunch of weird things. Did we ever get a resolve to the Purple Man thing, or was that just all in her head?
I think that one was fake.
That was fake?
I think.
I don't know. Like it was strange. I don't know. And then I don't want to say too much about the twist reveal in last issue, in case people haven't read that. But yeah, just a strange series. But it's cool. Moving on to Tiger Division number 2. Picked up a variant cover here. Pretty interesting. So we're getting a lot more backstory on Taiguchi. And because he's basically like the Korean Superman.
Yeah.
I almost said superhero.
He is.
He is a superhero.
He
Yeah.
is a Korean superhero. Yes.
But he's kind of like the Korean Superman. God, I almost did it again.
I love the General. I like his design.
Yeah, he's fun. But we're learning a little bit about his back history.
Yeah.
And
because it was revealed last issue. He's like really old.
Yeah. And also worth noting that we didn't. He's a pretty new character, so like he's very not fleshed out yet.
A little
like
over a year old.
Yeah, I think
Taskmaster.
I think Taskmaster came out 2020. I think.
2 years.
Yeah, so it might be about 2 years old. But yeah, so this is and he's been in some other stuff, but nothing's gone into his back history until now. And kind of learning that he was a little bit of a troublemaker growing up.
A punk,
And
a rapscallion,
and then when you get to the end of this issue,
I
you
can't think of another
learn
word.
that might be coming back to bite him in the butt a little bit. So
Has the statute of limitations passed since 1966?
I think so. But anyway, pretty interesting. Definitely, like I said, there's kind of last couple page thing that happens. That's kind of neat, and definitely want to see where that's going. I don't think it's been my favorite stuff. Dealing with Tiger Division.
Here comes a waffle.
There was a White Fox issue that came out a little while back that was really, really good. It was a one shot, but I feel like the writing on that was a lot better. But this is still interesting learning, like I said, about
Fine, I'll pick up
mainly
for you.
Taiguchi, but also learning about the other characters. Now, moving on, we have Daredevil number 6. We are so far behind on this series, Chris. Yeah, I didn't read it. Great Momoko cover. Actually, the A cover was amazing on this one as well, and maybe a B cover or C cover, whatever this isn't. This is a D cover, so I think there was one more cover is also really good.
Yeah,
We picked the
A
Momoko.
cover was really good.
Yeah, like I said, A cover was gorgeous. I really almost picked that one up too. Anyway, I really need to read this. Zdarsky's amazing, so I'm sure the run's great. Yeah, definitely want to check that out. Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty number 7.
I'm very behind on this.
Yeah, Chris is behind on that. I'm not reading it. I don't have anything to say about that. And
Are you behind on this?
Yeah, I'm very behind on New Mutants. This is issue number 32.
How many have you read?
So I started at 25 and maybe only read a couple of his issues, maybe. And then just got behind on it. And then this is a cover by, we have Miles Morales number 1. It's the new series. Awesome Momoko cover.
Yeah.
Like we said, lots of Momoko covers this week, and
We
a lot of
didn't
them
read
are really
this.
good. I didn't read this one. It was pretty thick. I had a lot of other things to read. On another week, if there was a lighter
I'm upset
week,
they're getting rid of that costume for him.
I like this costume.
Yeah, everyone.
I think it's cool.
Everybody crapped on it, and now
The A cover on this book was
he's back
also
to-
really cool.
I like his original costume. He's going back to that,
Yeah.
but I thought it was fun. He got his own very different Spider-Man costume.
Yeah, and it wasn't just, hey, it's a recolored, Peter Parker costume.
Yeah,
Um,
because all the other Spider-Men get to have their own different Spider-Man costume. You know?
Yeah, I thought it was a neat design. And now, granted, it's also a Spider-Man thing to constantly be changing your costume.
Yeah.
So it's one thing if
Well,
a little while later, in another 6 months or so, he changes the costume again. That's fine or whatever. But as long as they don't okay, there's backlash, we have to make sure keep that same costume forever. Another super awesome Momoko cover by was Captain Marvel number 44. I really, really like that one. I think it is super sweet. I like the way that she blacked out the background, but not entirely. I think is pretty interesting. And just in general, Captain Marvel has a really unique shape and creates a nice, I don't know, I guess negative space around her and everything. Did you read this?
Nope.
Okay, so we have Hidden Empire number 2.
I want to get caught up in Vader. First.
I didn't read number 1, so I need to go back and read this one. There was one week, I can't remember what happened, if I wasn't feeling well or what ended up
I
happening.
think it was the one you weren't feeling well.
I think so, yeah. So I never read Hidden Empire number 1. I am excited to read this book. Crimson Reign was awesome, so I am definitely interested in checking this out. And pretty rad cover there. Definitely, don't want to have Vader coming after you. And that's it for Star Wars. Moving on to DC, which was a bigger week for me for DC. We have Gotham City. What number is this? 3.
Who's the little owl friend?
I don't know. There's a little cartoon owl here. It has nothing to do with the book. I didn't even notice that. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, so this is a little detective story that doesn't really have anything to do with Batman, except for, how some stories are like, you get to the end of the issue and he's like, and we're not even at the crazy part of the story yet. So obviously this is being told to someone, and I'm pretty sure it's Batman. But we haven't seen Batman yet. And it's always on just the last page of each issue. But this one was pretty good. This is probably I've liked this series so far, but this was probably the best issue, and they do something pretty wild in here. Something that I was a little shocked. I was like, wow, I it, it happens like right near at the end of the book, so I can't 100% confirm it is what it is, but I'm pretty sure they do something pretty crazy in that issue.
They shoot Batman.
Batman that isn't born yet. Anyway, we have Batman 130. Great cover. I think this is a super cool cover. I got the little failsafe in the background, chasing after him in the snow, and what a great read.
I didn't get caught up.
Again, Zdarsky's killing it. I'm not a Batman guy. I think this is the best issue so far. I started at 125, so we're only 5 issues in, and I've been really liking it this whole time, and I think this was a fantastic issue, and might be the first time ever that Batman might be my favorite book of the week. Pretty wild. Asked me 6 months ago, and I probably would have been like, never, you know? But it's been a really, really solid read. If you want to check out just a really solid story about, because again, I don't keep stating this, I've said it before, but I'm not a big Batman guy. I hate Batman can do anything, he can beat anybody, he just has enough time, blah, 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 blah. I hate all that, it's boring. This is really about Batman's obsessiveness about being prepared for everything coming back to bite him in the butt. And it still shares like that relentlessness of Batman, but against him. And I think this is kind of everything I could really want in a Batman story. Me personally. Hey boy, calm down.
He's back.
Calm down. Anyway, really, really good. If you want to get into it, you don't have to read all 130 issues. You could start at 125 and just start with the failsafe arc where Zdarsky picks up. Highly recommend it. It's really, really good. Stop falling over. Okay. Moving on to Poison Ivy. So this is issue number 7.
No way.
And this is the A cover, which is a really, really solid A cover.
Yeah.
And it's been a really, really good series as well. We're moving into the new arc, so the last arc just ended with issue 6. And now we're starting up something new that is kind of exploring some elements of what just happened, but I guess taking it a step further. Got some really cool issues to show with this one. Who is this? Middleton. Got the Joshua Middleton variant, which is really sweet. And then we have the David Nakayama. It's the Spawn variant. If it wasn't Nakayama, or someone else I really like, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. But it is. I just kind of wish it was, but oh well, Spawn's in there. I don't care. I don't care for Spawn, I don't know how to have this. Anyway, and then we have Sword of Azrael number 5, a book that Chris is supposed to be reading, but
I'm behind on.
Maybe read one issue. I
didn't
don't
read
know.
the first issue, and I really liked it.
What are you trying to get into?
Behind.
We do have one little action figure we're going to show off here at the end. We didn't pick up too much this week.
It's Oreo.
I've spent a lot of money recently, so I'm trying to calm down. Also buying a lot of Christmas gifts right now. You know how I did. I'm a last minute. I'm actually, me buying my gifts right now, and having most of my shopping done is pretty good for me. Usually I'm waiting until the last minute. And then moving on to our indie stuff, we have, where's the number on this? See a number?
It's 1.
It is not 1.
3. It's 3.
Where's 3?
It's in the inside. I remember. I was looking for it. Also on the back.
Oh, it's on the back. Okay.
It's also on the inside.
Night of the Ghoul, number 3. The finale, I think, right?
Finale, only 3?
Yeah, it's only 3 issues. It has an epilogue, but it also has a big the end. I think it's probably done. Um, did Snyder? Was Snyder the one that did the Closet as well?
Oh.
Just a little 3-issue series. These have been in kind of thicker issues though, or at least this one has. I can't remember the other ones. Kind of a weird little story. Kind of interesting the way they did it. Little horror thing, obviously. About a movie maker. The best way I could explain it is if somebody met up with John Carpenter and was like, "Oh, I love your movies" or whatever. They're so cool or whatever, or I don't know. And somehow, like The Thing came out that like that was he was trying to tell you that was real. Like that wasn't a movie. That was him trying to, spread the message to the world. It kind of this is the best way I could kind of explain it. Is like, but also does if John Carpenter experienced a massive fire and was hugely disfigured. Yeah, a neat little Scott Snyder horror story.
Have you seen John Carpenter? That could be true.
Moving on to the very last book now. We have Nocterra, the Val special, and kind of fun. I don't know if it's coincidence, because this is the A cover. I don't know if they... Well, because you have to have lights on you at all times to keep away the shades, what they call them, which are the monsters that not even necessarily live in the dark. Like even if you're in the dark by yourself, you'll turn into a shade. You don't have to. It's not like a zombie where you have to be bitten or anything. It's just being in the dark. But it's Christmas time, and so they wrapped some Christmas lights around her. I guess some good timing on that one. I guess, but pretty solid issue. I really really love Nocterra. Again, some Scott Snyder stuff, and this might be my favorite Scott Snyder book. I think the world he created in Nocterra and the characters are all really awesome, and the monsters that he created in Nocterra are really really sweet. And again, have that scary factor of you don't even need to be near them. Like the darkness is fear, alone. And then there's also various sizes of monsters, and you kind of have some aspects of like zombies, like stick together and have little fortifications and stuff like that. Typical kind of apocalypse stuff, but a bit of a different twist on it. So that's all of our books for this week. We will be doing a live stream tonight playing Gundam, I think, right?
We lied to you. We're going back to Gundam.
So for people that were in our last stream last week,
we lied to your face.
We said we probably were. Well, we didn't say probably. We said we were dropping Gundam. The player base kind of fell off. They updated it,
and it's fun again.
Added a new character, which I think didn't make it that big of a difference, honestly. But they made some pretty impactful changes. I think there's still changes to be made, but they made some that made the game not miserable in certain aspects. So there's a lot of things that really... it is a lot more fun. And it seems like there's been a lot more players on.
You don't like that? Okay.
Still not enough to play ranked. But, yeah. So we'll be playing some more. We'll be playing some more tonight. So join us. Be hanging out, talking about comics and stuff. And then we got to show you the one figure... I'll probably just show it off now and then open it up during the beginning of stream. But we picked up a Chameleon action figure, which is one I wanted for a while. And as you can see, there was only $25. We got this other little shop that I'll go to every now and then. And for some reason or another, just randomly, they'll have figures at just dumb prices. I double-checked because it's been a while since I looked him up. I've wanted him for a while, just didn't want to pay what he was going for. And I was thinking they fairly recently released Hammerhead, which he comes with a Hammerhead head.
I wonder if it's the same Hammerhead head.
Probably. But anyway, so he comes with a Hammerhead head. And granted, it didn't come with all the other heads, and it wasn't Chameleon. And I was like, maybe that was enough to make him go down in price. And I double-checked, and loose, he's still like a $60, $70 figure. So I don't know why they had him priced at $25. but I couldn't let that go. Like I said, I've been wanting him for a while. He has a Tommy gun. Yeah, so
Space gun.
added him into
Here's what J. Jonah's head. I wanted to see if that's the other J. Jonah's head too.
I have no idea, but anyway, I've been wanting to add him to our Spider-Man Rogues gallery because we have pretty much most of them at this point. I'd say.
Yeah,
maybe not every version.
Hard pressed to find a character we don't have.
Yeah,
Spider-Man villain.
I mean, that really might have been the last one, as far as what they make.
Hello. There's a few more coming out.
Well, again, not counting that, but as far as like stuff
like that 3-pack.
Yeah, stuff that is out. I feel like we either have most or we might have all. And again, not every version, but every Spider-Man Rogues villain character. If not, we're very close. And yeah, that's all we got for you today. I would love to see you stop by, hang out with us during our live stream. Again, we are playing video games, but there's always different conversations about comics and stuff happening in the chat. I'm always ranting. I'm always talking.
Marco. You can come make fun of Marco to his face.
You could. I'd love to talk about, how your comic... I'll be making some videos on this kind of stuff too, but if you want to talk about how your year has gone as far as comic collecting, I will have a video coming out pretty soon talking about all the changes in my... Well, not all the changes, I'm going to go through every single book, but I'll probably go through every single new slab that I've added to my collection, which if you look at my wall, I think there's only maybe like... God, actually from here, maybe none. No. The Star Wars 1 and the 68. Oh, and the all-new Ghost Rider. So, like, 3 slabs on the wall that were there from last year. Aria, what are you getting into? Anyway, everything else is new.
Not the Gwen Stacy?
No, that's new.
That's new? No.
Yeah, everything else is new from last year. Or all from this year, rather. And then, I got a whole box of slabs. I got a stack of slabs on top of the box of slabs. It's a mess. Also... Maybe, I can't promise, but maybe the last week that we're going to be in this setup. We're moving some things around. Chris finally got his table out of my room. So I'm going to be moving. I know you can't tell in my room, but I'm going to be moving my computer desk to the corner over there. And it's going to have a different angle and different things going on. And hopefully we'll be extending the comic wall, getting some shelves over here instead of a couch. And you'll get to see a bit more of our collection and stuff, and I'll get to display a bunch more of my stuff, which will hopefully be pretty cool. But that is a big, long rant. I feel like this was a very long video, probably. Anyway, so we are going to call it a night, and I hope to see you tonight. And that's all I have for you. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Ha 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 ha!